Hi, I'm Jennifer Imlay. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I'll share the key projects for my internship at Community Services for Children with the Early Learning Resource Center Department. The projects I worked on will be showcasing my work in communications and instructional design. The first thing I want to do is give you a quick overview of my projects. So the two main projects I worked on were newsletters and a learning module. So the newsletters, one would go to the providers. The providers are directors of childcare centers. The other type would go to the families. So that would be parents and families of children who attend the childcare center. And they have strict deadlines, so that's a really important skill to stick with. Without fail, they go out, the provider goes out on the 1st of the month, and the family newsletter goes out on the 15th of the month. So it's very important to make sure all deadlines are met. We have coworkers that contribute to these newsletters. They'll contribute content, so I need to make sure that their content is in when it's supposed to be, and located in the files where it's supposed to be. Family newsletter, one other aspect, which I love this aspect of it, to meet the needs of the diverse learners, we also translate the family newsletter into Spanish. A big portion of our families are Spanish speaking. So this is very helpful to them. So I worked collaboratively with a coworker who speaks Spanish. So what she would do is take a look and translate the written content into Spanish. Let me show you the provider newsletter. All right, so you'll see that all of the newsletters kind of have this similar look to them. That's for branding purposes. We have specific colors. All the font is one way. It follows a very specific pattern. The newsletter for the providers is set up first. We put in regional updates. So this would be specific announcements for each for that particular region, which is why we do a provider newsletter and a family newsletter for every region. We want to tailor it to our specific regions as well. So I'm going to show you the English family newsletter. Okay. And as you can see, very similar, right? Set up the same way, separated by sections, with region-specific content in the very beginning. So once all that content was developed, I needed to have it proofread. So what I would do, and I'm going to show you with this one because I just worked on this August 1 recently. So what I would do is go in. All right, so over here I worked with text, images, all of that. Once I'm finished with it, I take a look, make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to. Sometimes you have to check to make sure you click on the font, make sure it's the right font and the right size, and whether it's bold or not. When I think it's ready, I click the preview and test, and then I will send the test to my supervisor. Okay. Another part of that. And I'm not going to show you the actual window, but under contacts is where we update our contact list. It has people's names on it, and for confidential purposes, I don't want to show that tab, but you would see our list of contacts. So, but what I can show you is this. So let's take a look. Okay, I created a collage, and basically, what we would do is we need to update our contacts every month. The reason is we don't want to be sending unnecessary emails to people that are no longer either in childcare or are no longer open. So every month we update our contacts from the Pelican program. All right, so then we generate a report, create a list, and the first thing I want to do is see if anybody's missing any information. So if we're missing some kind of information, I immediately let the provider service manager know that we were missing some information. Once those are updated, I go into constant contact and I delete the lists of old contacts. Next, I worked on the learning module. Okay, so this one was I had to plan a module, a training module on Adobe, how to use it. And this module specifically was for beginning usage. I did find in my research that that there was interest in learning how to prepare forms. So what I would do normally is make a second module to follow up with that one and add that content as well. Let me show you a little bit about the learning module. First, I did a pre-training survey. Right, so I wanted to see what everybody, where their skills were and what they wanted to learn. Okay, so I did typical age group, their titles, how often do you work with it? You'll see everybody works with it daily. They have used it in the past to work with documents. And then it gets a little split down here. So about 72% said they could easily navigate it already, but there are an additional 18% and 9% that still needed to develop those skills. And then I just wanted to see what format they prefer. On that, at CSC, we have a learning module, a learning platform called Learn Upon, and that's generally the type of training. Sometimes we do in-person trainings, but personal training is done in Learn Upon. So this is what I came up with. The age range, 54% were between 30 and 55, and 36% were above age 55. 100% have used the software, and about 27.3% have basic skills. And the work requirements, yes, everyone's required to use it at work. So obviously there was a need there. All right, so next I followed the Dick and Carey model of creating an instructional design plan. And so what I did is first I wrote some goals and then based the training off of that. So here's what I ended up doing. I'll show you the plan in a moment, but I want to show you some of the artifacts here as well. So here is the Adobe PowerPoint. All right, it is converted to a PDF because when we upload that to SCORM, or when we convert it with using SCORM, this keeps the format the way it is. All right, so you will see that I broke the slides down by goal and main concepts. Notice I don't add a bunch of text to the page. One of the theories I loved learning about was dual coding. So an image and a little bit of text. It's goes a long way. And of course, I would be speaking and facilitating during this part. All right. Then, so once my slideshow was done, then I went into the SCORM platform. Let me show you what that looks like. This is the PDF that's been uploaded, and it is editable. So each slide I can add video and audio. All right, so the audio can go over a slide. So if I were to click here, I've started with audio. Okay, and then I also added video. Okay. And this is just a screenshot of that work in progress. All right, so once I've created my learning module with PowerPoint and SCORM, I needed to download it to my computer, and then I would go into Learn Upon. So I'll show you the picture here. Okay. This is the completed course. Okay. All completely designed. This is a preview of everything. So I did put in the course description, pre-test, the PDF slideshow with video and audio, a post-test, and then a tip sheet that they could take with them and download. So I'll show you the tip sheet real quick. So it is 2 pages. I wanted it a little, I wanted to try to keep it to 1 page, but I want to make sure that the learners have everything they need. So I'll show you the Learn Upon program. Okay. So I would have to upload the content. So this is everything I was just showing you earlier about the different types of modules. I needed to add the pre-test and post-test questions. Let me show you the information. All right, so I took content from my instructional design plan, which helped me put in the editing title, the description, as well as the goals. So when I click on content, okay, you can see the different modules. Let me show you okay. So in the Dick and Carey model, you create assessment questions right there in the document. And so that made this part very easy. Just went in, added my questions, set it up, and saved it. The pre and post test are the same questions. I just want them in a different order. The reasoning for this is I want to see what people knew in the beginning and then what they had learned, how much they had learned. And that's it. That's what I've done with my internship. I've really learned a lot, especially with the instructional design, the module. I did promise that I would show you my instructional design plan. So let me show you that real quick, and then we will end right here. So again, there's the part with the instructional problem, analysis. I analyzed my goals, created diagrams to help organize the information, analyzed my learners with that survey, made sure my objectives were clear, created my assessment questions, and then I was ready to go. So thank you again for viewing my portfolio and taking the time to hear about my experiences.